Let's go get them. What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the very second edition of Clobberin Time. I am Rob Moy, and joined by me, as always, is the producer, Mr. Ken James. Ken, how you doing?
Let me back that down. Hold on.
We are back. Okay. Hello to Hot Rod. Hot Rod's joining us tonight. Also, Mandy Turner. Hopefully you can all hear me again. So we lost sound there, but hopefully we're back and you can hear me. Like I said, the main event, the topic of tonight is the 27 Club. Several of the biggest musicians of all time passed away when they were 27 years old, which is ironic and weird. And there's been several studies into it. But, okay, Randy said we have sound again. Hope everyone's doing well, like I said before. But before we get started, like and share the video, because at the end of the program, we're going to do a giveaway. The very first giveaway right here on Clobberin Time. And what pray tell is Rob giving away? Well, thank you to Miss Alyssa down there at the market on the wharf. We are going to be giving away 2 tickets to the I Love the 90s tour at the wharf, June 15th. 2 tickets to the I Love the 90s tour, which will be headlined by Salt and Pepper, Coolio, Young MC, and I'm trying to think of the other artists, but I know it's headlined by Salt and Pepper. So that'll be June 15th. Hello, Kinsley. Thanks for watching. Hello, Patty.
Did you say Young MC?
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
Wow.
Yeah. And Coolio. But Salt and Pepper's going to have the house rocking, I'll guarantee you that. But like I said, at the end of the show, we're going to be doing the giveaway, and and the way we're going to do this is I'm going to ask a trivia question, and the first person to correctly guess the answer will win the tickets. 2 tickets to the wharf, June 15 for the I Love the 90s tour. So hopefully someone will win it, and we'll go and have a blast. That'll be, I think that's on a Friday night, June 15th. And speaking of June, right now we are sitting 1 month exactly away from the Dash Bash, which will be headlined by the Velcro Pygmies. So this is going to be yep, that's right, Alyssa. It's going to be Tone Loc. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's the one name I couldn't win. That's the one name I couldn't remember. But yeah, like I said, we are 1 month inside now of the Dash Bash. It's going to be a huge day for Bruton. It's going to be a huge day for everybody. No, Diane. Zach said I'm old now. You ain't too far behind me there, brother. But I'll tell you what, I don't know about you guys, but this morning I laughed until I was hurting at drive time. I don't know who laughed more. Ken and Dave or us. I'm telling you, I was on the lawnmower and I was running crooked lines laughing.
It's not hard to laugh at Dan Thomas. Let me tell you. I mean, it's just not.
heard this story, but I missed the name. Who was DJ talking about? Somebody was at the zoo and got choked by a monkey.
Oh, that was Hal Clements. That's a true story as well. Yeah. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, man.
And before we get going on our main topic, I promised everybody I would tell my monkey story, which is apparently, I don't know why I think about it every once in a while, but this morning it jogged my memory. Now, this sounds like a joke, but I promise you it's 100% real. Everything I'm about to tell you is, I can verify it. It can be verified. My dad's brother knew this guy who owed him money. And when my uncle went to collect the money, the guy didn't have the money to give him. However, the guy had a pet monkey. And instead of paying my uncle the money, he gave my uncle the monkey. And for a while there, my dad and brothers and all had a pet monkey. So one Sunday morning, the monkey went missing. And they searched all Sunday morning for that monkey. They never could find him. Well, it wasn't too long later, an old man that lived in the neighborhood came driving up. He said, "Hey, you the young'uns that owns a gorilla?" And my uncle said, "No, we don't own a gorilla. We got a monkey." Well, the old man told him, he said, "Well, I got some bad news for you." He said, "I was getting ready for church this morning." He said, "I was putting on my necktie, and I was looking in the mirror, adjusting my necktie there, and I looked in the mirror, and I looked over at the bedroom window, and there's that monkey, like this, looking in the window." He said, "Before I knew what happened," he said, "I grabbed a shotgun, and I shot and killed that monkey through the bedroom window."
I would have done the same thing, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
He shot and killed a monkey. The monkey's looking at him like this. He said the first thing he thought, he went over by the dresser and got that shotgun and put an end to him. But my dad told that story at least twice a year when I was coming up, and it makes me laugh every time because I can just see that monkey looking. And this morning, Mr. Dan said, if I'd have had sense, I'd have shot that monkey. And I tell you what. There we go. When he said that, I about fell off the lawnmower. He said, if I'd have had sense, I'd have shot that monkey. But once again, thanks everybody for joining us. Today, we're going to talk about I don't know if you'd call it the illustrious, the infamous, but the 27 Club. It is a list of celebrities in the music and actors and actresses. I really haven't delved too much into the actor part and actresses, but for, gosh, probably the better part of 20 years or so, it's really grown in myth and fame. It started off, the very first original, like the biggest noted names to join the 27 Club was back in 1938 by a blues guitarist named Robert Johnson. And ironically...
that's like one of my favorite movies of all time.
Right.
Is Crossroads.
Yes.
Ralph Macchio. How about that?
Yep. And when I tell you some of these other stories, it all kind of sort of, if you really sit down and put pen to paper, it all links back to him, all the other members of the 27 Club. And it's weird. It just depends on what you believe in, honestly, as far as spirituality, like demons and ghosts and curses and stuff like that. It's very odd.
What? You mean that stuff's not true?
No comment, Mr. James.
Yeah, I told you I ain't fooling with none of that stuff either.
I know.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I do think, I believe in that whole Robert Johnson thing because I've read too much about that.
Right. It like whenever he started playing there on the Delta, the Mississippi Delta, he wasn't very good. And matter of fact, Muddy Waters and the rest of those guys, they pretty much laughed him out of the clique, so to speak. He was just a kid who was trying to play guitar, and he was kind of pestering everybody. Hey man, how'd you do this? How did you do that? And they pretty much ran him off just because he was a pest, and he was gone for 1 year. And when he came back, nobody had ever heard anything like that before. They said he would turn his back to the crowd, and sometimes whenever he would play, like it's reported he may have had cataracts and stuff like that, but at 27 it's kind of odd to picture that. Like I've never seen a 27-year-old with cataracts, but they said whenever he would start playing, you could almost see something possess him. And the legend got going around like
something got hold of him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was doing the deal. I can tell you that.
He was a bad man. And
he was a real bad man.
Because that's why the legend got started, that he met up with the devil at the crossroads and sold his soul to the devil.
What do you think about that?
Oh man. I don't know.
You think he I mean, I've seen that movie about 150 times.
Yeah.
And I think could all be very true.
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to discredit or disprove or anything. I think sometimes it's been since 1938, so we're looking at 80 years now. Yeah. This is 80 years. And you give anything like that time to grow, and the legend just keeps adding to itself, I think. But I mean, could it have happened? Anything's possible. But like I said, and then all of a sudden he came back and he was just, I mean, nobody had ever heard anything like that before. And of course, the other musicians started that rumor, oh, he sold his soul to the devil. He's this, he's that, he's possessed, he's that. And all of a sudden he fell ill.
Well, he played like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he played like something was crazy. I don't know what it was. I just know I
have personally seen, and you probably have too, musicians who get into that groove, and to people who don't know how to play music like that, sometimes it can look differently, but he could have just been in the groove. That could have been the style he played for back in the day.
It may have been. I tell you what, I don't know why this thing keeps overdrive. I'll tell you what I like. I like this set that you got working up here tonight. What do you think about it? You can see it tonight. What do you think? What do you think about it?
I ain't mad at it. You got me looking like I might belong on TV somewhere. But I like it.
Yeah, you kind of look like a wrestler.
No, I don't know about that now.
How about a wrestling manager?
I'll take that. I'll live with that. Yeah. The T-Bone said maybe he saw a monkey.
Maybe he did. That's a great point, T-Bone.
But all of a sudden,
you don't know what he might. I mean, there's no telling.
There's no telling. But all of a sudden, he fell ill, and they said the last 3 days of his life, it was something to do with his stomach. Now it could have been whiskey. It could have been just some bootleg batch of booze. It could have been drugs. It could have been anything. But they said the last 3 days of his life, people described it howling like a hellhound. And this is the truth, so I'm just going to say it, and because of the time and period he was in, he probably didn't get to see a very good doctor as well, because he was African-American in Mississippi, and he probably didn't get the best of medical care. So he passed away at the age of 27. And the next batch of people who passed away in the 27 Club, in the span of from 1969 to 1971, you had Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, and the Jones guy from the Rolling Stones. His first name is skipping me like a blank right now.
See, I can't. Don't get me wrong, and people may jump on this, and that's fine if they do, but I can't subscribe to Jimi Hendrix being the greatest guitar player of all time. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. Because I know better.
I wouldn't put him as number one, but he's in the top 10.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he's not in the top 10. I agree with that, but I'm telling you right now that he's not. He's definitely not number one. Although a lot of people say that, I don't agree with that.
I think a lot of that it's subjective, and as also it's been pounded into people's heads for so long.
It is subjective. I agree with that, but it's still, I mean, no matter, you still got to be able to. I mean, Jimi Hendrix was not Duane Allman. Sorry.
Good point.
I mean, he you know, and Jimi Hendrix is a great guitar player, but Duane Allman played it all.
On a whole different note,
Jimi Hendrix played blues and rock blues, and that's all he played. Duane Allman played all kind of music.
That's true. Very true.
He played on more records than people really know. I mean,
right.
You know, and I ain't trying to get off on Duane Allman because everybody knows I'm a Duane Allman fanatic. But
oh yeah, that's what this show is for. Get it out.
You know.
But and also on another note of how people rank guitar players, Rolling Stone, however much credibility they have in your circle, they said B.B. King was the greatest guitar player of all time. However, B.B. King could not sing and play at the same time.
Yeah, well, Rolling Stone ain't hitting on much with me anyway.
True, they haven't had a lot of credibility in a while.
Let's be honest. I mean, you know, they're not hitting on much. No, I mean, I don't think they are. So,
right.
I mean, they flipped a coin to decide between Duane and Jimmy. That's how they decided who was number one and number two.
Oh, yep.
They flipped a coin.
Yeah.
How much credibility does that give them?
That's true.
I mean, now you may say, well, that gives them a lot. Well, that's fine, but I don't think so.
Right. Hey, you're entitled to your opinion. And
I mean, and I'm not saying that there's not some great guitar players alive today or that can still jam or all that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you know, Jimmy was Jimmy and he was great, but he's just not the greatest of all time. And I'm derailing your show, but you know, but I'm just, that's the way it is.
That's fine. Hey, cool. I really, if I had to sit down and pick out my favorite or the best guitar player of all time, I would be here a while. Because like I said, because I listen to so much different music, it's hard to really sit down and go, he's the best or he's the best or this, that, and the other. Everybody plays a different style. I guess you could break it down into genres, but back to the Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix wasn't the same after Janis Joplin died. I mean, he loved Janis Joplin, and when she passed away from that heroin overdose, he really, I don't want to say lost his will, but his contract was coming up. Everybody, by the way, Jimi Hendrix didn't just die or vomit to death or however they wanted. They said it was asphyxiation, but this isn't rumor or innuendo or whatever. I've read too much about him. Lady and do his own thing, and his manager took out a life insurance policy on him. And one night, Jimmy's girlfriend had to go buy some cigarettes, and when she came back, Jimmy was dead. Now, she was only gone 15 or 20 minutes. And when she came back, she found his dead body there in the apartment. And when the ambulance arrived, they turned Jimmy over and his hair was full of wine. And when they turned him over, wine came out of his nose. And when they did the autopsy on him, there was no alcohol or any drug in his stomach. So in order to throw something up, there has to be something in your stomach to throw up, and there was nothing in his system, period. Alcohol nor drugs.
Watch it, sucker.
In other words, what pretty much happened was Jimmy's manager had some guys who were on the wrong side of the tracks come by, and pretty much what has been decided was Jimi Hendrix didn't just simply vomit or choke on his own vomit, whatever. Jimi Hendrix was essentially waterboarded to death. And
wow,
yeah, so pretty much he was waterboarded with wine and drowned in wine. Yeah,
it's kind of rough, isn't it?
And his manager collected $2 million off life insurance. And 6 months later, his manager was in a plane crash, and the only thing they ever found of his managers was a wristwatch after the wreck. Nothing else.
Who was in this plane? You talking about Jimmy was in the plane crash?
Jimmy's manager.
Oh, Jimmy's manager.
Yeah, sounds out. Oh, okay.
They just need to refresh their stream. It's not out. Sound's going.
Mine is.
Oh, yours is?
Yes, sir.
Check your, I don't know why.
Me neither. I have no idea. But can you still hear me pretty good, though? Okay, well.
Just keep going. I'll figure it out.
Okay. But like I said, Jimmy's manager paid off with that $2 million life insurance. He paid off the electric. He had took a loan out from the mob to finish building the Electric Ladyland Studios. He paid that back, and bought, I forget, several other high end things. And by the time it was over, he really didn't have any money left. And all of a sudden, he has a plane crash, and he's never seen again. Shit, he said, I mean. Yeah, back in the day, I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but back earlier in his career, Jimi Hendrix had a roadie / drug scorer for him by the name of Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead. And they were coming back, I think it was from Germany, back to the States, and they were stopped at security, and they said, we got to do okay, I'm back in. They said, we got to do a little security check here of your luggage. And when they opened up Lemmy's bag, there was 450 or 460 some odd acid tablets, or, and they said, and instead of arresting them, they said, well, you can't leave with this. And somebody asked him, Lemmy, what they did with it. He goes, well, we just stayed in Germany until we got rid of it all. And by get rid of it all,
how'd they get rid of it all? Some certain way.
There are children watching this right now, so all I'm going to say is it was not wasted. Back in the day, Jimmy would go out with a tab in his headband, under his tongue, and I'm sorry, he had 3 under his headband, 1 under his tongue, and a couple of other places. So he would be on stage with about 6 or 7 drops of acid on him at all times. But that's how Lemmy got his start as a roadie to Jimi Hendrix. And one night their bass player missed a show, and Jimmy asked Lemmy to jump on stage and join, and that's how Lemmy got his start, which I could sit here and talk all night about Lemmy. I love Lemmy.
I don't know that I'm necessarily the biggest. I mean, what is that, Motorhead?
Yes, sir.
Is that right? Yeah,
yes, sir.
I don't necessarily know I'm would be a expert to talk on Motorhead, because I really don't know much about them.
I promise you, if you go on Netflix sometime and watch just there's a documentary, it's just called Lemmy. It's not so much about Motorhead as it is, it's just about a 2-hour documentary about Lemmy. And that dude was the embodiment of rock and roll. Tell you what, Keith Richards of Rolling Stones. And Lemmy said, come on over here and let's have a drink. So they walk over there, and Lemmy pops open a bottle of Jack Daniels, takes a sip and gives it to Dave. And then as Dave's drinking it, Lemmy opens his own 5th of whiskey, Jack Daniels, to start drinking it himself. So he's wanting to sit there and drink 5th of whiskey like me and you would sit here and drink a bottle of water. Dave said, I can't do that. But I'm getting off topic here. Talking about Lemmy, I could sit here and talk about him all night. He was, I don't want his lifestyle, but as far as his attitude, he was the embodiment of what rock and roll is, in my book.
I want to say this. Wonder how old that monkey was that Dan Thomas seen this morning.
Oh,
reckon he was 27 in monkey years.
Well, it doesn't matter, because
maybe
he didn't shoot him.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
But
I think they're talking about the sound. I think it's a stream problem, because we got sound on our side.
Right.
I think y'all need to refresh your screen.
Yeah.
Or your stream. I think AT&T is and MediaCom and everybody else is having a good time tonight.
Yeah, they're
at our expense.
They think they're doing something here.
Yeah,
but what they don't know is we stronger than they are.
Yeah, we're not gonna let it bother us.
We got real folks watching us.
Yeah,
see,
we're not gonna let it bother us.
No,
it just is what it is.
No, but back to the 27 Club. There, what's his name? Jim Morrison. Actually, there's been a lot of people who say he faked his own death, which...
Well, he was weird enough to do that. I wouldn't doubt it one bit.
I mean, he died in... He supposedly died in France. They did not bring the body back to America. He's buried over there in France. And his family wasn't notified until like a week afterwards.
Okie dokie.
I mean, I'm not the most, popular guy in the world, but I believe somebody'd get my mom a word within a week. And we're talking about a worldwide rock star. I mean, Jim Morrison wasn't, Jim Morrison didn't deliver papers. He was in the paper. So for him to just die or whatever, and when they found his body was in a bathtub, but his head was laying underneath the spigot of the bathtub. People don't get in the bathtub like that. They believe if he really is dead, he was murdered and placed there. I don't know. I'm not the biggest Doors fan in the world, but I mean, I really haven't delved deep into that. But it still sounds, I mean, just on the surface of it, just sounds too weird to me. Because, I mean, if anybody dies and, you got family, somebody's going to be notified within a week, I would think. Call me crazy. But now on to probably the biggest name of our generation to have joined the 27 Club, and where it really initially picked up steam. Now, before 1996, it really never was really known as the 27 Club. But when Kurt Cobain killed himself, which is another hot button debate, I've heard that Courtney Love had him killed. I've heard I've heard everything but, and I don't think anybody really will ever know the exact truth. But when Kurt Cobain killed himself, it was the newspaper report afterwards. They asked his mom about it, and she goes, I told him not to go and join that stupid club. And that's really where it really picked up steam, and people really began to call it the 27 Club. But what a lot of people didn't really know is that at the time, Kurt had two uncles and a great uncle who had killed themselves. And his mother might have been referring to that instead of joining the other popular musicians who died at 27. But it seems like, and also back to Jimi Hendrix, he was starting to really, and what I'm about to say is just my opinion, and it's been said by more than me. It's my opinion as well. So if you don't believe it or you don't subscribe to it, that's fine. You're more than welcome to your opinion. But Jimmy was starting to join up with the Black Panthers and was really a huge part of that, beginning to gain steam as part of the Black Panthers, and was really trying to do things like get the youth of America and all over the world to really start thinking for themselves. And a lot of people think that that's another reason why he was killed, or someone had him killed. And if you really go back and think about it, Kurt Cobain was really, he was like, for lack of a better word, more like a cult leader. He was really the head of the grunge movement and the anger.
I think he was a poser myself.
You think Kurt Cobain was a poser?
Yeah, that's what I think. I'm going to tell you.
I'm supposed to be the controversial one here.
Yeah, well, I'm just telling you. Anybody that knows anything about music and knows anything about playing music can tell you that his guitar playing was terrible. His sound was even worse. And, I'm sorry. In my opinion, Nirvana is one of the worst things that ever happened to music ever. I can name you 40 80s hair bands that are 100 times the musicians that anybody in Nirvana ever was. Anybody.
Oh, I think Nirvana was right place, right time.
Yeah, they were the poster child for grunge rock because some record company wanted them to be. That's just it. I don't care what anybody says. You can like that, lump it. Sorry, but that's just the truth.
You can go back though, and it's on video and it's on disc. A lot the bands that inspired them never got the big shot. Go back and watch MTV Unplugged, like the Mudhoney's. The best MTV Unplugged of all time was Alice in Chains. Absolutely, that's not even a question.
Period.
That's not even a question.
Nirvana sucked on Unplugged. Sucked. Lane Staley would blow Kurt Cobain off the stage.
You are true.
Alice in Chains would blow Nirvana off the stage. Period. I hate Nirvana for one reason only. If you want to sit here and act like that you are such, this and that and other, and you're so great, listen, the guy killed himself or he had himself killed, whoever, I don't know who killed him, don't care. But whatever happened to him, he did it for attention. Okay? If you see any of those documentaries about that guy, then, and I have watched plenty of them, Jess will tell you, he was nothing like that character that he played in Nirvana. Yeah. Nothing like that character. He was a nerd. He was a straight up, like, all bookwork. He was nothing like that guy. He was a wrestling gimmick is what he was in Nirvana. Period.
Man. Say
what you want to. I don't care. I'm going to tell you right now, I've been playing guitar since I was 8 years old, and I promise you, man, I am qualified to say what I just said.
Hey, you're more than qualified to say what you just said, and I agree with that. But, it's because, no knock on you, it's because you're a generation ahead of me.
Well, no, listen, I appreciate all great music. I don't care what generation it comes from. I appreciate great music, okay? I really don't care. I'm just saying there's nothing great about Nirvana, period. Nothing. They get on stage at the MTV Music Awards one year, and they throw a bunch of guitars around. Guess what? Guns N' Roses did that in 1988, pal.
Yep.
Okay. True. Sorry, that was already done.
All the it seemed like they kept all that kayfabe, which is, by the way, everybody, I talk a lot of wrestling terms. Kayfabe means like this right here, what I wear right now in kayfabe world is this is what I wear every day. For all you know, this right here, this everything is what I wear every day according to what you know. With Nirvana, Kurt was that character was kayfabe. In other words, it was cultivated and kept hid until after he died.
He was a poser. I said it. I'll say it again. Kurt Cobain,
man down,
was a poser. Period. I ain't fired up. I'm just telling the truth. I'm serious. Hey, you don't have to. I don't care who likes that. You don't have to like it. I'm just telling it like it is. Nobody's ever going to sit and convince me any different. That guy never done anything ever.
A little known story, unless you are like us music nerds. One night in New York City, I forgot where they were supposed to. I don't know if it was like an award show or just a regular gig or something like that. Yep, it was for Saturday Night Live when the last time they played SNL. Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love showed up together, and when they got out of the cab, they get inside, and they were completely just strewn out on heroin, right? And someone said, hey, where's Francis Bean, the baby? They were so high they left the baby in the cab, and the cab's going up the street.
Again, and I'm just saying that, and it's the truth. I know there's a generation of people that think Nirvana, whatever. But look, I'm telling you right now, Alice in Chains, had they come out before Nirvana, Nirvana would have never been heard of. Ever.
Yeah.
You'd have never heard of them.
Well, like I said, it was right place, right time. And honestly, because there was really nothing super great as far as rock going on at that time when they hit. Right place, right time.
Oh, there was a lot of things going on great at rock during that time. It was just that the record companies were looking for something to be the next big thing.
Right.
Because the, 80s hair band, whatever craze, they were trying to get past it or what have you.
Right.
And I'm not, loading up on the 80s hair band. I'm just telling you that there's a lot of those bands that are 100 times the band that Nirvana was. First off, I mean, very few three-piece bands ever sound really good, okay?
Right.
Stevie Ray Vaughan was one of them. Sorry. I mean, that guy's in the top 3 of the greatest guitar players of all time. Eddie Van Halen, that's another one.
Agreed.
Okay? Steve Vai, that's another one. Kurt Cobain, he's not even in the top 100.
No.
Okay?
No.
I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, that.
I mean, he said it. He said it himself when somebody asked him about how he played. He said he went to lessons and
Super
learned.
Dave said they had team spirit at least. Well, they did, but I'm telling you this, irregardless, they just didn't do. I mean, I don't know, man. I just couldn't get past the whole. Let's sit up here and not take a bath and all. So I can think of another local hero icon that people love, who plays that wrestling poser role as well. And, but yet his wife is loaded. And, only reason he got a record deal is because she's a record producer.
Who you got?
I'm not going to say his name.
Wait,
but he knows it.
Oh man.
Yeah, he knows it. I mean, that's just how that goes. You can say whatever about that too, but that's a fact too.
Mr. James firing shots over the bow.
Well, I mean, listen, man, I like good music, and I will call good music, but you're going to tell me Lithium is a great song?
No.
I mean, come on, man. You going to tell me that holds up against Rooster? You going to tell me that holds up against Wood?
No.
You going to tell me that holds up against Nutshell?
No.
Or the greatest Alice in Chains song of all time, Down in a Hole? You going to tell me that any of those songs hold up against that song?
No, I'm not here to defend anything, Mr. James.
They don't.
Miss James said
don't even get me started on that idiot.
Miss James said Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah, don't get me started on that idiot. That's another one of those idiots that wants to play that role. They all ought to go call Vince McMahon up.
Well, Billy Corgan owns a wrestling company now.
Well, he needed to, because let me tell you something.
Legit, I'm gonna make you pass out right now and get ready. So if y'all hear a thud, it's Ken James hitting the floor. But guess what Billy Corgan owns now?
TNA.
No.
Ring of Honor.
No.
Okay. What?
Billy Corgan is the sole owner of the National Wrestling Alliance.
There's an NWA out now. I didn't realize the NWA was still going. I thought that was like gone. I thought when
it was.
I thought when Vince bought all that, I thought all that was gone.
Nope. Vince has never owned the NWA.
Wow.
The NWA used to literally be the National Wrestling Alliance.
Yeah,
it was all the different. Okay, that name was bought by a lawyer when Ted Turner bought Jim Crockett Promotions. When Ted Turner bought that, the NWA became its own entity, and a lawyer simply owned the name for all those years. And then last year, Billy Corgan bought it, and now
he's still an idiot. I don't care.
Billy Corgan has brought back that same belt that you guys have on the table, and that's the NWA Heavyweight Championship.
He didn't take it off of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat up here at the National Guard Armory.
He didn't take it off DJ.
DJ took it off of Ricky the Dragon Steamboat at the National Guard Armory.
In a 1 hour classic.
Well, falls count anywhere. And he got him out there next to the I mean, listen,
Billy Corgan impression.
Nirvana is not any of that. Now, listen, I do like Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a huge Pearl Jam fan, but I think Yellow Ledbetter is a great song.
No, it's classic.
I think that's a great song. Okay. I think Jeremy is a great song. Alive's a great song. Black, there's a lot of, but to me, that first album was the best album.
10.
Because after that, I mean, really the only other song they had after that that wasn't on that album was Yellow Ledbetter. The rest of them are.
What do you think of Temple of the Dog?
You know, I mean,
the super group when Pearl Jam and
listen, man. Okay, the best super group from that time period was Mad Season.
There you go.
Okay, now if you don't know who Mad Season is, that was Lane Staley, Chris Cornell, a couple of those other guys, and they were bad to the bone. I mean, they were.
Miss James just brought up Bush.
Bush is a great band.
Bush was very good. Bush was very good. Their first album, 16 Stone, was pretty much their shot.
Great.
That was their big album. Of course, the debut album. Then they had Razor Blade Suitcase, which was the follow up.
I mean, listen, "Come Down" is one of my favorite.
Oh yeah,
Bush songs.
Yeah,
everybody, "Glycerin," that's good, but "Come Down" is that's a great tune.
So, note to self: Rob will not do his Billy Corgan impression.
Well, it's not that. It's just that I just think I think of him like I think of Cobain. I mean, let's get a mask on. Or let's get some paint and let's go out and play the fake Diesel, the fake Razor Ramon, or the fake Ultimate Warrior, or the fake Undertaker. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, there's that. Why? I mean, why would you do that? I mean,
money.
Well, yeah, I know it's about money, but I'm just saying they're just. I mean, today is the crazy. I mean, come on, man. That is terrible. That's not even music. I mean, you know what I'm saying? How can anybody say that's a great band? I mean, come on, dude.
They.
I mean, I'm sorry. Guns N' Roses would knock all the only band that we've talked about that can compete with Guns N' Roses is the original Alice in Chains.
Yep.
And that I'm just saying compete because they can't stay on the stage with them. Okay.
Nah.
Now the original Van Halen with Diamond Dave.
Yep.
They were bad to the bone.
Because like I've said, and like one of my earlier iterations of Clobberin Time, we had a little bit of a musical edition, and I've said it a million times. Diamond Dave was a real life cartoon character. He would run around stage, and he wasn't the greatest voice in history. But he was so charismatic, you believed everything you said.
I mean, Diamond Dave was bad to the bone. Look, Van Halen 1 and Van Halen 2, two of the greatest albums of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It is. I'm going to tell you another one. ZZ Top Fandango, absolutely one of the greatest albums of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you're talking about generation gap. Listen, music's not, in my opinion, there is no generation gap when it comes to good music. You either like good music or you don't like good music.
Yep.
One of the two.
Yep.
Okay? That's how it works. And this Nirvana crap and Smashing Pumpkins crap and all that crap, I mean, it's just junk. Listen, I say the same thing, though, about the Doors. Jim Morrison, you were talking about him earlier. I say the same thing about him. He was an attention whore. That's all he wanted was attention. He wrote all these crazy songs. Guess what all these people had in common? They were all screwed up on acid or heroin or something when they wrote all this music.
Yep.
Every one of them.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
I mean, Jimi Hendrix never played a show without a hit acid in his headband when he walked out on stage and he started sweating. It would sweat into his pores.
Yep.
And he stayed tore up the whole time.
Yep. He was gone the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fact. You can look all that up.
Yep, it's documented.
Yeah, I've seen that Hot Rod, the new Diamond Dave, playing that Ninja. I've seen all that. But hey, the bottom line of that is that now don't get me wrong, Sammy Hagar was good with Van Halen as well, but Diamond Dave was
cared for Sammy Hagar.
Yeah, but man, I'm telling you, 5150 is a great album. OU 812 is a great album. I mean, you can't even talk about. Let's talk about. You want to talk about Smell Like Teen Spirit up against that? Come on, man.
Hey, you're right.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not a huge Foo Fighters fan because I hate Nirvana so much.
Wait a minute. Slow down.
Tell me a great song the Foo Fighters ever did. Name one.
Dude.
Name one.
Seriously.
Name one.
Okay. Learn to Fly.
Okay. 20 years from now, will anybody remember that song?
Yes, because it's almost 20 years old now.
Okay. 25 years from now, will anybody remember that song?
Yes, I will.
Yeah, well, you are the minority. Most people will not remember anything about the Foo Fighters except they sucked. That's what they'll remember. I mean, I'm just telling you.
We're week 2 in, folks, and I've already got him worked up. I thought I would be the one.
Listen, y'all don't know me. I'm not. If I was worked up, hey, trust me, you would know. I'm not worked up at all.
I thought I would be the one. Yeah, that sucks.
No, man. But seriously, I mean, now I take my hat off to Dave Grohl. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's a talented guy. He played drums. He plays the guitar. I mean, and he went on and took care of business after Nirvana. And, hey, that took a lot to be able to do that and to move past that being stereotyped as that grunge band. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I take my hat off to him for that. I mean, I'm not knocking his talent or anything. I'm just saying that most of that music is just not good. I mean, it's just not. Now, I do like the way they interact with their fans and they let people get up and play with them at shows and all that kind of stuff. I like all that. But the rest of it, I mean, look, man, you're talking about 20-year-old music, okay? Let me ask you something.
All right.
Is any of that stuff going to be remembered like Sweet Home Alabama?
I doubt it.
Okay. Is any of that stuff going to be remembered like Welcome to the Jungle?
I doubt it.
Okay. Is any of that stuff going to be remembered like Running with the Devil?
Highly doubt it.
And I can keep going, okay? Because we're talking about junk music compared to real music, and that kind of music. Listen, Leonard Skinner's got 3 albums. The first 3 albums they made, they ain't that the only 3 albums they ever made. And every song on there, you start playing the first 3 notes of it, and everybody and their brother knows what song you're about to play.
You're right.
That's a fact.
I'm not debating it.
Okay. You think that's going to happen with the Foo Fighters one day?
Perhaps.
Well,
It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
If a frog's butt was watertight, then, anything's possible. We all understand that. But I'm just saying, I mean, how people today can put those types of bands in the category with a Allman Brothers band or with a Van Halen or with a Guns N' Roses or Cinderella or any of those types of bands. I mean, man, you're not talking about the same kind of talent. You're talking about people who got up there and banged on the instrument and acted like they made good music. And the only reason these kids today think it's good music because they don't know what good music is.
You're right. You're right.
I mean, they just don't. It's like wrestling. To me, the best wrestling happened, and I think you agree with this too, the best wrestling happened in the 80s.
Oh, absolutely.
The early 80s especially, I mean, there will never be another Fabulous Freebirds.
Oh, no.
There'll never be another Von Erich family.
No.
There'll never be another Austin Idol.
You go right now to any wrestling show. I don't care if there's 5 people there or if there's 15,000 people there, and if there's one old person there, they're going to talk about something that happened in the 60s, 70s, mostly the 70s and 80s. Mostly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen,
And I tell you why, we'll come back to this right here, this topic here, the best wrestling, at a later show. But the reason is because the toothpaste has been let out of the tube. Back then, you believed it.
Oh, I totally agree with what you just said there.
The toothpaste has been left out of the tube.
Yeah,
and you can't put it back.
I agree. You can't put the genie back in the bottle once it's out. But and we'll get back to that. I agree with that. But look, here's the thing. It doesn't matter what kind of music you like. It doesn't matter. Everybody has their own taste and what they like and what they don't like and all that kind of stuff. And that's all well and good. But I'm talking about like music that makes an impression and that lasts, not just on the generation of people that it came out on, but time. It keeps on doing the deal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's never going to be another Leonard Skinner. There's never going to be another Van Halen. There's never going to be another Guns N' Roses. I mean, you know, it's just not.
No.
There's never going to be another Motley Crue.
And the
Motley Crue, I haven't even said that. Let me tell you something. Motley Crue, what it's just, this stream is just acting a fool.
Right.
But it's because of that. Hey, Tom Petty, another great band.
Absolutely. And I've said it before, like I said, back on one of the earlier iterations. Everybody loves Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Everybody. You very rarely hear anybody get bad-mouth them, but you never hear anybody say they're their favorite band of all time.
No, but listen,
great.
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers was a great band, and that nobody can take that away from me. I mean, they were great.
Exactly. They were real. You could feel it.
Yeah.
You could feel it. I mean, whenever they started to sing a song like Mary Jane's Last Dance, you could see that what they were saying in your head.
Yeah, well, listen, we got Mediacom over here. Mediacom loves to turn stupid on us. So that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Look at there.
Got no sound.
Scott Steiner. Never be another one.
Big Papa Pump.
I agree with that.
Big Papa Pump. You know, he runs a Shoney's in Atworth, Georgia now.
Yeah. I saw that on the news or something.
Yeah, they're the first Shoney's to ever serve liquor in Georgia.
Yeah. Hey, just refresh your screen. That's what it is. It's just Mediacom, and AT&T's been messed up all day today. I don't know if you have AT&T, Rob. If you do,
sir.
Well, you're lucky.
No, sir.
They've been messed up all day today. Oh, Journey. Listen, Journey is in a class by themselves as well.
Absolutely.
Steve Perry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Journey was the real deal.
Yeah. CCR. I agree with that. Dwayne King. You know, I agree with that. Journey was a great band.
Absolutely. One of the best ever.
Yeah. Just refresh your screen if you don't have any sound. That's all you got to do. They the stream's good. It's just Mediacom being Mediacom.
Yeah, somebody brought up also, I didn't really bring her up because I was never that big a fan, just to be perfectly honest with you. Another member of the 27 Club, Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, I wasn't that big of a fan either, but I can tell you this, I could appreciate what she did.
She had a great voice.
Yeah.
I'll never take that away from her, but as far as being a big fan of hers, I know that one song, Rehab, that should have been a teller right there.
Well, I mean, listen, anytime somebody's talking about, they try to make me go to rehab and I say,
no,
I'm not going. Well, I mean, what else do you say to that?
Yeah. But
you know what I mean?
I don't like anybody to die too soon. 27's too soon. Like I said, I was never that big a fan. I'm never that big a fan of hers, but I know she had a lot of fans, and she passed away in 2011 at the age of 27 years old.
But the thing about her, which is kind of like one of the things kind of hard for me to get past, is she, AT&T has been messed up all week. She was like one of those, like Alanis Morissette. Alanis,
whoa,
she was all like a big, into all that pop star stuff and all that kind of deal. And then some record company got hold of her and turned her into let your hair grow out and don't take a bath for like a week or two. And, let's do all that. And that's Amy Winehouse was the same way.
Yeah.
The exact same story. Yeah. That was Amy Winehouse. Now, I'm not dogging her. I'm just saying that's what happened.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. Alanis had some good songs. I mean, I think that You Ought to Know, or what's the name? Yeah, You Ought to Know. That's like that's like the women theme song of all time, I think.
And that song was written about Dave Coulier.
I don't know who it was written about. I can just tell you
that's exactly who it was written about.
About Dave who?
Dave Coulier from Full House, Uncle Joey.
Oh.
That's a shoot. Yeah.
Snap.
That's who the song was written about. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. Yep. I didn't know that.
And
I could have swore I come out here with a drink. Oh, well.
You did.
Is it up there?
Nope.
Yeah, I don't know where. Oh, well.
I think you took it in the other room. But I listened. You can go on. I've listened to several of her I've watched a lot of her shows and listened to a bunch of her How They Made It albums, and she said that song, "Ironic," she wrote it in 10 minutes. Her manager said, "I need a radio single, quick," and he left the room for a few minutes. And Mandy Turner said, "How long y'all gonna discuss sucky bands and people?" "For as long as we like." No, I'm playing. The manager left the room. When he came back, she had the song "Ironic" written, and he was like, "Okay, I think that'll work." But yeah, you're right about Brian Jones, Hot Rod. He was murdered. He was found laying in a fetal position at the bottom of a swimming pool, and nobody saw how it happened, although the house was full of people. Come on. So if I get in a bathtub and there's a house full of people, somebody's going to know about it. I got in a bathtub. Now you got a famous rock star who suddenly is found in the fetal position at the bottom of a pool. Come on. But yeah, you're right. And Brian Jones is the one who founded the Rolling Stones, gave them the name, wrote a majority of the songs, and they kicked him out. So, what?
That is kind of weird about
Brian Jones.
I didn't know that song was wrote about Uncle Joey.
Yep. That song was written about Uncle Joey.
I want to tell you something. He must have really wronged that woman. That's all I can tell you. Because I want to tell you something.
That's called a burn.
That woman would do bad things to you while you slept. I mean, you would not want to fool with that woman right there, because
I thought I'd get a little compassion. And sympathy from y'all.
Uncle Joey said, "Cut it out."
Yeah,
but
Uncle Joey thought he could get some compassion and some sympathy as well.
That was the original diss track.
Yeah,
right there.
He didn't get any of it.
None.
She
didn't burn him. She went scorched earth on him in that song.
Man, that is just crazy, man.
Yep. And go look at a recent video of her. She hasn't aged one bit. I don't know what's in that Canadian water up there, but brother, it must be some good stuff.
Yeah. Now I'll tell you what, and Jessica, she hit it right there. I do love 4 Non Blondes.
Yes.
That people think of that, hey, hey, hey song, but I mean, they actually, that album is actually pretty good.
Yep.
I mean, that woman's voice is amazing.
What up? Hey, what's going on?
Yeah. But that woman's voice is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, some of the Spaceship and some of the other songs that she does, I mean, her voice is crazy. Hey, Dwayne King says Stevie Nicks. I'm a huge Stevie Nicks fan.
Ditto.
Huge. Let me tell you something. When the late 70s, Stevie Nicks, she was bad to the bone, man.
Oh, there ain't no question.
Okay. Gold Dust Woman. Oh, man. I mean, what a great tune.
Yep.
What a great tune.
But,
one was about Ryan Reynolds. Which one was about Ryan?
That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
What? Mandy, do share with the class which song was about Ryan Reynolds,
Mandy,
a.k.a.
Mandy
Deadpool.
said that was her theme song.
A.k.a. Deadpool.
She needs the water. I need the water then.
I was talking about that Canadian water. Atlantis is Canadian.
I think she's had a lot of surgery. You don't think so? Okay. Well, I may be wrong.
I don't think so. Speaking of Canadians who haven't aged a lot, what about Jewel? Jewel hasn't aged a bit either. She married, she's Alaskan. I'm sorry. She's not Canadian. I'm sorry. It's completely different. But, however.
No, she's had a lot of surgery.
Jewel?
Yes.
You think so?
A lot. Yeah.
She always sounded a little like Kermit the Frog to me.
Jewel, yeah, I can't say I was a big Jewel fan.
Save your soul. Something like that. That's what she sounded to me like. But since we're, I think we can hold off on talking about bad people and end it with a high note, so to speak. It is time. It is time for the giveaway. Once again, the first person to get the correct answer in the form of a comment wins 2 tickets for June 15th to the I Love the 90s tour there at the Wharf headline.
Hey.
Uh-oh. T-Bone, calm it down.
No. Process it.
All right, folks, it's time for the giveaway. And like I said, the first person to get the correct answer in the form of a comment on this feed will win 2 tickets to I Love the 90s at the Wharf June 15th. Uh-oh, folks, is getting ready. I hear guns cocking. I hope you're all ready. Okay, folks, here's the question. And I don't care if you Google it. If you're quick enough to do it all and come back with the correct answer, that's fine too. Who? Here's the question.
Wait a minute.
What?
Give us just a second.
Okay.
Go ahead. We go ahead.
All right, folks, here we go. Who main evented, in other words, had the final match at WrestleMania 6? WrestleMania 6 main event. First person to get the correct answer will win the tickets. Main event, final match, WrestleMania 6. And we have some great music going on. Jackson Thomas got one of them. I want both competitors who made the main event match at WrestleMania 6. Uh-oh, Zach Smith. Zach Smith has won. It was Hulk Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior in Toronto, Canada at Skydome. Congratulations, Zach Smith.
I think he cheated.
You think? No.
I think he cheated.
Z knows that kind of stuff. Boom.
I know. That's why I think he cheated. He's okay. But I'm good with that. So,
yep. Zach Smith has won the tickets. Congratulations, Z-Man. And I know.
Congratulations, Zach.
Yep. The Z-Man is going to the Wharf June 15th, Friday night, for the I Love the 90s tour. And I'm sure Z-Man can find a lovely lady to escort him, if you will. I know that tickles you every time I do Dusty Rhodes.
I'm telling you, man.
No, Christine, that was WrestleMania 3 was Hogan and Andre. Undertaker and Mankind never main evented. All right, folks, I hope you've had a blast. We've had a blast, and we'll see you again next week right here. Same bat time, same bat channel for Clobberin Time. For Mr. Ken James, I am Rob Moy. Enjoy your week. Stay safe, Bruton, and we love you.